Hey, good people. All right, so we're working on the element of art value. We're going to create a quick project that that shows value. Okay, so what we want to do is start off by creating some shapes. In previous lessons we learned how to do shapes. Alrighty, we want to make sure these shapes are empty shapes for now, and we want them to overlap. We want to fill it up with different shapes. So I'm gonna start off with some oval shapes, and let's use the color black. So right now they're doing computer eye. Let me switch this up. So I'm just doing the ellipse tool. I gotta go make sure I'm doing a straight line. I can go. The good thing about it is flexible. I can go back and change it. Ellipse tool. Make sure I want straight line because I want them to overlap. And also, I really want the color to be, let's do a solid black color. Um, yeah, let's do black for now. Okay, so I'm going in, I'm switching the colors all back to black. And notice how they're overlapping. Black, 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 black. Where's that? Going back and changing this color to black. Gotta go to the ellipse tool, click on the color, go black. Same thing with this one. Cancel. I got to remember to go to the select tool because if I don't, it's going to create another shape. All right, and this is actually wood. All right, so there, I want to fill up my page with different shapes. So I'm going to keep these here, but I can use whatever shapes I want, and I want them to overlap. I have this nice thick line, but you can switch it to a smaller, skinnier line. By right now it's at 10 points. Maybe we want to make it 3 points. Just make it skinnier. And I'm just going to fill my page up with lines. It is okay for the lines to run off the page like I'm doing right there. We just want to fill it in using all of these geometric shapes. And you can use multiple ones. Again, it is okay if they overlap. Okay, it is perfectly fine if you do some that overlap, just like I've just done. All right, so once it gets pretty full, rotate it. Um, that's pretty much it. If you want to experiment with custom shapes are cool. You can go over here and find some different custom shapes and you can use those. So lots of shapes, fill it in. All right. And we're doing an abstracted, almost cubism style of work today. Okay. Now that is done. We have all of these different shapes. Now I want you to notice how, let me make sure I'm actually recording this thing. Yeah, cool. Okay, I want you to notice how this is our base of the artwork. Notice how they're all on different layers right now. Okay. Let's hide this thing right here. So hopefully you can't see that anyways. All right, hide. All right, so all of these are on different layers right at this point. Okay, all these different layers. I can either, I want to flatten out this image. I need it to be flat. So I'm gonna go to image, layer, not image, flatten image. Once I flatten image, notice how I compressed all of these different layers to one layer. So we have one flat surface now, okay? All right, cool. So now we're gonna add value to this artwork. You can leave it black, but let's pick a color. I prefer you pick a color because the black is actually going to help you divide your different shapes. Okay, so pick your favorite color. Let's say your favorite color is blue. All right. Um, Make sure you press OK, otherwise it's not going to stay. So now my color over here has changed. And this is going to be my starting color. Okay. So I'm going to now paint in these different areas blue. So I'm going to use my magic wand tool. I like this one because when you have clear cut areas, it's easy to select it. Okay. So once it's selected, make sure you have the actual paint bucket tool selected. It's not showing the tool that I need. I'm gonna go here, click on these dots. That didn't work either. Where's the thing? All right, so my edit toolbar, I want to make sure I have my paint bucket or my gradient tool selected. I'm gonna choose the gradient tool. Normally, but that's one way to do it. I really don't even like this view. Let me get rid of that. I'm gonna go over here to my right side and go to my essentials because that was set for 3D. Now it has the tools that I want right here. Okay. So paint bucket and gradient tool are the two tools we're gonna use. So I'm gonna go back to my selection tool. I'm gonna choose my magic wand and then I'm gonna select an area that I want to paint. Now I'm gonna go to my paint bucket tool and I'm gonna paint right there. Notice how it only painted in the selected area. And I'm gonna continue to do that all throughout the artwork. Okay. If I want to speed this process up, one thing I could do is hold on to Shift, and then I can select multiple areas. Notice how the ant trail is staying. Oops. Well, whenever you click on the line like I just did, it's going to select everything. So try not to click on the line. Let me see if I can go back in my history. Yeah, so I went back in history. I don't have to reselect them all. But notice how I have like 5 different things selected, okay? At this point, I can go back to my paint bucket tool and I can just go paint inside those areas, okay? Inside my selected areas. So see how it used to be a rectangle or a square. Now it's its own shape. It's a newly shaped created, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do nothing but shades of blue because that is the color I choose. So I can choose any shade of blue, any value shade of blue. I leave it here. I can go to a darker shade of this blue, a darker value, and then do the same thing. Go to my selection tool, Shift, and just start selecting different areas that I want to paint in. Try not to put the same color side by side, okay? So again, we're using the same value of blue, this kind of sky blue. You add white to it, it gets lighter. You add black to it, it gets darker, okay? But I want to use the same value. Okay, that's the key right now, is working with these different values, okay? Alrighty, that's that. So I would just keep going and filling this up until my artwork is completely full. Alrighty. So that's using the gradient tool. That's using the paint bucket tool. For my gradient tool, I can click on the paint bucket, this little arrow, go to gradient tool, and now I got to go select. I can leave it at black and white because, you know, basically a value is when you add dark, black, or white to one color. So I can leave it at black and white, and that's good. I'll do one shape real quick. But I do the shape, have the area selected, then I do a line. And at that point, did I go back? Let me see. So when I do it in the inside, that should have created a gradient. Is there something I'm doing wrong right here? Make sure I got that selected. Boom. I'm inside the area. I chose the color. I'm not sure why the gradient is not popping up right there. That's different. Let's see. Oh, mode is at screen. Normally it will be at normal. So let me go back to normal. And now you see it. Okay, so make sure your mode is normal. If it's on screen, screen sees through what's on the bottom. Okay, so I have my different value, my from dark to light value gradient. But let's say, okay, I'm gonna select my gradient tool. I'm gonna get a darker value of the same color, because notice I have not moved up my bar up or down to change the color. It's the same color. It's just a different value. So I'm gonna get a dark value, and let me click on the white one at the bottom. I want to select the same, my original color, and then I want to go get a different value of this color. So now I'm gonna go select over here. And what I did is when I went to the swatch, I got the eyedropper. I sampled the eyedrop color, and it took me to my original color that I picked. And now I'm going to get a lighter value of that color. So I'm gonna get this sky blue. Okay. So now notice at the boxes we have a dark blue, almost an aqua color, and we're going to now this sky blue. Okay. So same thing. I select the shape. I go back to gradient, and then I blend from left to right. Boom. And again, my goal right here when I'm doing this is I'm trying not to put the same colors side by side. That way they won't mash in together. Okay. Now the good thing is we have these big, bold black lines. So it's still going to separate it, but that's just my preference with that. Because if we were using like real skinny lines, or if we were using one color, they would blend in together. Okay. So try not to put the same color side by side, and it really gives it contrast. It really separates and makes a difference in the colors. And that's one of the other things that we're learning is contrast. Okay. Alrighty. I think that's pretty much it with this project. I would keep going until I completely fill it all the way in. Have fun with it. Every little area, it's its own shape. So even if I have to go get my zoom up tool and zoom up to these smaller areas and go shift click and just get every little piece, feel free to do so. With this one, I can kind of notice when I did the gradient tool with this one, it blended all three of the shapes. Okay, instead of like with the paint bucket tool, it would do one shape at a time. Okay. All right, that's the tutorial. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. Let's go. I'm gonna be mad if I wasn't recording.